History isn't what you read in textbooks. It's not a timeline of inevitable events. It's an illusion, curated for public consumption. The real history is a series of whispers in dark rooms, ... desperate gambles, and secret decisions made under impossible pressure. What if I told you that 5 of these hidden moments created the America you know today? In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson faced a dilemma that would shape the future of a young nation. Napoleon's empire was crumbling, and with it came an unexpected offer: the entire Louisiana Territory. For a mere $15 million, it was a bargain that would double the size of America overnight. But there was a catch. The Constitution gave no explicit power to the president to make such a purchase. Jefferson, a strict constructionist, found himself at odds with his own principles. As political rivals whispered and sharpened their knives, Jefferson paced the halls of the White House. The clock was ticking. He hesitated the offer might vanish, leaving the western frontier vulnerable to foreign powers. If he acted, he risked being branded a hypocrite or worse, a tyrant. In a moment of audacious pragmatism, Jefferson made his choice. He would stretch the limits of presidential power, gambling that the ends would justify the means. The Louisiana Purchase reshaped the map and the destiny of America. But it also set a precedent that in times of great opportunity or crisis, a president might bend the rules for what he believed was the greater good. Fast forward to 1861. The nation Jefferson helped expand now teetered on the brink of dissolution. As Southern states seceded and civil war loomed, Abraham Lincoln found himself facing an even more dire constitutional crisis. With Congress out of session and rebel sympathizers in Maryland threatening to cut off Washington, D.C., Lincoln made a decision that would haunt American civil liberties for generations. In the dead of night, with only the flicker of candlelight illuminating the heavy weight upon his shoulders, Lincoln penned an order suspending the writ of habeas corpus. This cornerstone of individual liberty, enshrined in the Constitution, was now cast aside in the name of preserving the Union itself. Critics howled. They called him a dictator, a tyrant worse than King George III. But Lincoln stood firm. Arguing that if he had to choose between sacrificing one law to save all others, or watching the entire Constitution crumble, the choice was clear. It was a gamble that the American experiment could survive a temporary abridgment of its ideals in order to ensure its very existence. The echoes of Lincoln's decision would reverberate through every subsequent national crisis. Its leaders grappled with the balance between security and liberty. Nearly a century later, another president found himself burdened with a choice that would forever alter the course of human history. As World War II raged across the globe, Harry Truman inherited not just the Oval Office, but the most closely guarded secret of the 20th century: the Manhattan Project. In a nondescript government office, Truman pored over reports and listened to impassioned pleas from scientists and generals alike. The atomic bomb was no longer theoretical. It was real, and it was ready. But should it be used? The arguments swirled like a tempest in Truman's mind. His military advisors pushed for its deployment, claiming it would save countless American lives by avoiding a bloody invasion of Japan. But a group of scientists, led by Leo Szilard, had drafted a petition warning of the moral implications and potential arms race that would follow. Truman, a man who had never even attended college, now held the power to unleash a force as destructive as the sun itself. The weight of this decision was almost unbearable. In the end, driven by the desire to end the war swiftly and decisively, Truman gave the fateful order. The world would never be the same. The atomic age had dawned, ushering in decades of Cold War tension and reshaping global politics. Truman's choice became a stark reminder of the awesome and terrible responsibility that comes with ultimate power. Just 17 years later, another president would face a moment where the fate of humanity hung in the balance. In October 1962, John F. Kennedy received intelligence that Soviet nuclear missiles were being installed in Cuba, mere miles from American shores. For 13 days, the world teetered on the brink of annihilation. In the claustrophobic confines of the Situation Room, tempers flared and nerves frayed. General Curtis LeMay, the hawkish Air Force Chief of Staff, pushed aggressively for immediate military action, saw hesitation as weakness, compromise as capitulation. But Kennedy, haunted by the specter of global thermonuclear war, chose a different path. Against the strident objections of his own military leaders, he opted for a naval quarantine instead of an airstrike. It was a high-stakes gamble that diplomacy could prevail, where force might lead to catastrophe. As the hours ticked by and Soviet ships approached the blockade line, the entire world held its breath. Kennedy's gambit paid off, Khrushchev blinked, and a peaceful resolution was negotiated. The missiles were withdrawn, and humanity stepped back from the precipice. Kennedy's decision to defy his generals and seek a diplomatic solution set a powerful precedent for crisis management in the nuclear age. It demonstrated that even in the face of existential threats, cool heads and measured responses could prevail. Decades later, another president would face a decision shrouded in secrecy and fraught with risk. For 10 years, Osama bin Laden had been a ghost, eluding the most sophisticated intelligence apparatus in history. Then, in 2011, the CIA traced him to a secret compound in Pakistan, but the intelligence was not a certainty. It was a probability of 50-50th guess at best. President Obama's entire security team was divided. A raid could result in dead U.S. soldiers, a diplomatic firestorm with Pakistan, and a humiliating failure. Bombing it would never confirm the kill. Doing nothing was unthinkable. Every advisor presented a different option. In the end, the decision was his alone, to risk it all on a gut feeling, and give the secret command to launch a team of Navy SEALs into the dark. As Obama watched the operation unfold in real time, the stakes couldn't have been higher. The outcome would define his presidency and America's long war on terror. The raid's success became a turning point, not just in the fight against al-Qaeda, but in the nature of modern warfare itself. It cemented the role of covert operations and precision strikes as the preferred tools of American power projection in the 21st century. A president's gamble, a tyrant's decree, a scientist's warning, a general's defiance, and a ghost's gambit. These weren't just decisions. They were the keystones of modern America, laid in secret, under immense pressure. They prove that history is made in the moments no one sees. The Louisiana Purchase expanded a nation. Lincoln's suspension of habeas corpus preserved it. Truman's atomic choice reshaped global power dynamics. Kennedy's restraint saved humanity from the brink, and Obama's raid redefined modern warfare. Each decision carried enormous risk and profound consequences. They remind us that the course of history often hinges not on grand public declarations, but on the quiet resolve of leaders facing impossible choices in rooms where few will ever tread. 5 leaders, 5 impossible choices that shaped the world. Which of these secret decisions do you believe was the riskiest? Lincoln sacrificing rights to save a nation, or Obama gambling on a 50-50th shot to catch a ghost? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe to unravel the truths they never taught you in school.